Hi, this is Matt from Akai Professional here today at the Gear4music studios with the brand new Force, a brand new standalone production unit. So the Akai Force is a completely self-contained production unit. At the heart of it is our 64-grid clip matrix. So within the 64-grid clip matrix, we can utilize many modern production workflows that we're used to. So for example, we have our launching clips mode. Now if I want to focus the screen on any of these clips, I simply hit clip, and you can see my MIDI events. If I press select and cycle through the clips, whether they're audio or plug-in tracks, they'll be represented on the screen. Now also on the Force we have note mode as well. Now to give you an example of that, if I hit my matrix button, this will take us to my clip view. Now track number 1 is a plug-in track, and in this case we have an instance of our electric piano plugin. Now for this track I was using progressions mode. So if I hit shift and note mode, you can see we can cycle through how we utilize our note mode. Now with progressions, this assigns a different chord to each pad. So if I tap progressions, you can see we can cycle through many different styles. So we have gospel, dance, ballad. And for this example, I was using jazz 2. Obviously, if I tap progressions, I can cycle through to chords and scales. So here you can see we're in E major. Now the second track in my chain is a drum track. So if I focus on it and then press my note mode, you can see I now have my matrix to contain all my drum samples. To edit a drum sample is very easy. We simply hit edit, tap a pad, and you'll see our edit window. So to launch a clip, we can do this in 3 ways. I can either hit the clip button to have a predetermined clip length. If I go back to matrix, I can simply tap the screen and live play in a clip. Or a really cool way in terms of workflow is if we hit launch and note at the same time, we now have our drums and our launch matrix on the same page. So if I hit record and record arm, I can tap an empty clip and start recording. So in addition to MPC style drumming, we also have a step sequencer feature. So on the third track of this project, I have another instance loaded. This time, if I go to track edit, we have our bassline synth. Now you can also see, using our multi-touch, multi-gesture screen, we can page through each of the individual plugin GUI parameter pages. What's also great is, if I hold the knobs button and tap screen, whatever page I land on will be reflected in the rotary encoders. The rotary encoders are also handy for setting up custom macros for your project. A good example of this is if I go back to my matrix, hit knobs mode, and then go to project, you'll see I've custom mapped a high and low pass filter, which sounds like this. But of course, these can be customizable to any parameter you wish. So on the fourth track, I have my Electro House kit, and this is used to layer up my existing drum track. So you can hear there I have some slightly more aggressive kick sounds. Now on clip number 5, this is utilising our MPC style sampling techniques. So if I hit my note mode, you'll see we're greeted with our sounds. So any sample I load in can be chopped up and then converted into a brand new drum program. So if I hit menu and then go to my sample edit, you'll see I now have my chop options. So here we can tap regions, hold shift, press convert, and you see we have convert to new drum track using slices. Then we hit do it, go back to our matrix, page across, and we now have a brand new drum track containing our sample chops. And the great thing, once the sample is contained within the new drum track, we can now apply effects to each individual sample. If we hold menu, go to pad mixer, you'll now see we can apply inserts to each of our samples. So you'll notice I'm also running an external synth with the Force. At the rear of the Force, we have 2 mic line inputs, which also can provide phantom power to condenser mics. Here, I'm using the Roland DO5, running line level into an audio track. But also, I have a MIDI track set up in order to trigger sounds from the DO5. So the Force also features a crossfader. You'll notice halfway through the track, I was assigning different tracks to either A or B position on the crossfader. So if I hold down, assign A or assign B, I can then choose where I want each track to be placed. The crossfader curve can also be edited. If I hit Shift and Solo, you can now see we have our crossfader profile from linear, exponential, or logarithmic. So to tail out the track, I was using the XY effects. If we hit Menu and our XY effects, you'll see we now have a setup very similar to our MPC Live and MPC-X. We've also added our tape stop effect, which sounds like this. So as you can hear, this emulates the vinyl break effect. So a single project on the Force can be made up of several tracks. If I hit Add New Track, you can see we have audio, drum, plugin, key group, MIDI, or CV. You also see on the rear of the unit, we have controls for CV and gate outputs. If I tap any of these icons, it will load the relevant track. So with the Force, we're shipping with a brand new plugin, Hype. If I load a plugin track, and we tap Instruments, and you'll see we now have our new synth Hype. If we tap Menu and go to Track Edit, you'll see we have our beautiful plugin GUI. So Hype has over 2,000 presets and is also a multi-engine synth, combining FM synthesis, wavetabling synthesis, subtractive synthesis, and analog. So full control over the project is handled by the Mixer section. If we page over to Mixer, you see we have our track strips. Also, in this screen, we have access to our pan and volume settings, sends, and inserts. And also, we ship with the entire Air Effects plugin. So any audio recorded or loaded into a project can be fully edited using the clip view. So if I page now to clip view, you can see we have our full audio waveform. Also, I can perform edits on the fly using this window. So in addition to editing from the screen, go-to parameters are available on the left of the unit. So here we have our undo. So as you can see with the Force, we have many different workflows available, whether it's step sequencing or finger drumming for rhythmics ideas, or recording external audio from either synths or even sampling from turntables. And also with the clip-based workflow, it's really easy to lay down ideas quick and fast. Not only can the Force serve as a great production hub, but can also be integrated into a live DJ setup. So here I'm using the Ableton Link protocol, which is clocking all my content from Ableton to the Akai Force. And also here I'm using the Denon DJ X1800 as my audio interface. So this is just one of many ways in which the Force can be integrated into your setup. And you can see, by using Ableton Link, content from both audio sources is synced over the Wi-Fi. To engage Ableton Link, it's very simple. We simply go to our menu, hit our settings icon, and go to sync. Scroll through till we see Ableton Link, make sure Receive MMC is clocked, and make sure both systems are running on the same Wi-Fi network. For more information on the Force or any other Akai products, head over to the Gear4music website.